Good morning, friends. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm here to talk to you about overrated and overlooked cities. Overrated or overlooked. It's not going to be the same city. I can't think of a single city that is overrated and overlooked, but you guys are very creative, so I'm sure you'll come up with one. But we're doing overrated, a list of overrated cities and a list of overlooked cities. This is particularly for you if you are a Black woman who wants to move abroad out of the US, and you want to go to another country. We're going to talk about cities that Black women love, talk about cities that Black women hate, and talk about some cities that we probably don't talk about enough. So, welcome. Hey, hey. My name is Rashida. I live in Mexico City. Mexico City is on the list. And we talk about things. Come here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to talk to you guys about what you can do to speed up your move abroad, right? I've lived outside of the United States since 2018, and there's enough room for all of us. And so I come here on Sundays and I talk to you. You watch it on the replay whenever you can. I just want to make sure that if this is something you want, you make it happen for yourself. Or I help you make it happen because I do have a coaching program with Miss Stephanie Perry in which we help Black women achieve this goal. So, hi, good morning to everyone here. Hello, hello. Hello, Britt and Olayinka, two members in my YouTube membership. And Cheryl. Good morning to Monique, who was in our coaching program. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello. Good morning, Celeste, Fall Girl, dropping knowledge bombs. The fam's all here. Hey, Jonquette. Hey, Money Magic. I think you're new to the membership, or I haven't seen you comment recently. All right, let's do it. This, as always, is going to be a kind of crowdsourced things. I have a list. I made my Apple Note this morning. So I have a list of things I want to talk to you about. Oh, this stream is driving me crazy. All right. I have a list of things I want to talk to you about, but I also hope that you guys volunteer cities that you think fall into this category, into these categories, two categories. All right. Are you ready? Ready for the list? Let's do it. I don't know why I have so much energy this morning. I don't know why, but I do. I left my water downstairs, so I'll be parched in a minute. Oh, I have water right out here. I forgot. If I have to get up, I don't have to go far for water. Because I'm brilliant. I knew in advance. Oh, Lady Sarita, with her reminder, go ahead and press the like button. If you're not subscribed, but this has hit your timeline, press the subscribe button. I'm not going to steer you wrong. I get up here and I'm talking. I don't tell no lies. I'm here to tell you the truth. If you don't like conversations that center Black women, I invite you to say goodbye right now because that's what we do here. There's channels for you wherever you are. No, Emway, I don't drink coffee. I drank coffee on Friday, and on Saturday, my stomach was in pieces. I hadn't put that together. I drank an iced coffee, and then I drank a Carajillo, which is like a Mexican espresso martini. Could that be? I was dying yesterday, and I couldn't think of what it was. Dying. I didn't think I was going to be here to do this live stream today. The lipstick is, if you see me wearing red, it is the Lip Bar Boss Lady. Does that actually help? That does not help, but it's the Lip Bar Boss Lady. And then this liner from NYX, the color is Syringe Sienna. It's their Duck Plump line. It's supposed to embiggen your lips. It don't work. And that's not why I got it. I like the color. It tingles for a minute, and that's it. I think the tingly has people thinking it actually doesn't look. All right. My gastroenterologist told me never drink coffee, and empty stomach causes gastrointestinal distress. It was not an empty stomach. but I don't usually drink. I drink coffee like 4 times a year, and that's usually like 4 days during Exodus Summit. Mistakes were made. 2 in a row may have been a bad idea. All right, but that's not why we're here, is it? We're here to talk about. We're here to talk about overrated and underrated cities. Lauren Bishop, hello, friend. I have never had. Okay, I love when we get off track. We go, listen, friends, skip ahead because we're off track. We're gonna get back on track, but give us a minute. Jalen, the dancing therapist, asked, what about matcha? My dear friend, Adelia Borshade, describes everything related to plants as vegetables as tasting like dirt or grass. Now, the other day she described something as, or was that Stephanie that described something as foot? Stephanie described something as tasting like foot, I think. I don't think that was Adelia. When I see matcha, all I can think of is it tastes like dirt plus grass, or grass with a little drizzle on top of dirt. It just does not. I don't normally subscribe to the dirt, grass, or feet taste spectrum, but matcha, it looks crazy to me. I think it's because I'm an old, and that wasn't a thing we did in my generation. Every time I see it, I'm like, grass water. It just looks like and people say it tastes like grass. And I feel like if it looks like it tastes like grass and people are out there in the world saying it tastes like grass, I am confident it's got a little grass to it. It's got a little kick of grass to it. I feel like y'all be putting on a little thick. You're putting it on a little tiny thick. I'm so sorry. Don't nobody believe you. A glass of grass with a drizzle of dirt is what I suspect it tastes like. All right, but once again, that's not why we're here. Oh. It tastes worse than grass. I love veggies and matcha tastes like dirt. I've tried so many times. Y'all aren't selling it. And I know Octavia's not trying to sell it, but this is not. Matcha feels very millennial to me. Maybe a little Gen Z as well. I've had this conversation with Kat before. If it's an acquired taste, it's not good. You just got used to it. I remember the last thing Kat told me was an acquired taste. I said that then, I say it now. If you have to acquire the taste, it don't taste good. You have just drank it enough that you've come to accept it. I don't believe in acquired tastes. It may be an ancient drink, but when I was going to coffee shops when I was in college, because I know no better, they didn't have no matcha back then, right? Not that it didn't exist, it's not as popular as it is now. And that's why I think of it as a millennial Gen Z drink, because it was not popular back in the day. You know you can't argue with that, Kat. We're going to be here for a while, I guess. I'll drink some wheatgrass. Because of the name, I expect it to taste like grass. I know I'm going to take this shot. It's this big. I'm not drinking it for taste. I'm drinking it for the nutritional value. I'm not acquiring the taste. It's nasty, but it's good for me. Is matcha good for you? There was no matcha in the coffee shops. Hey, Kay, I'm glad you caught us. There you are. Like I said, wheatgrass, I know what to expect. it's gonna taste like grass. Right there in the name. Mm-mm. Matcha tastes like it's grass juice. I'm sure a cow would love it. Okay. Now, before we go too far, someone said it's ground up tea leaves. Before we go too far with the tea thing, now the reason I judge Adelia is because she'd be like peppermint tea, grass, chamomile tea, dirt. I'd be like, girl, it does not taste. It tastes like the herbs. It does not taste like grass or dirt. But matcha, I can't get around just tasting like grass. Good morning, Miss Stephanie Perry. See, wheatgrass. Now, Jay, does wheatgrass taste good to you, or do you do it because it's good for you? Let us know. You're not wrong, Adelia. Tea is technically leaf water. But when you get the right tea, the bad tea tastes like leaves. But when you get the good tea, what you need to do, Adelia, is go to a place like Jamaica. Climb into someone's backyard, anyone's backyard, it don't matter. Someone's backyard. Go find the peppermint and peel it off a tree. You can put that in hot water or let it dry for a couple of weeks, a couple of days. Put it in the water with some brown sugar, maybe some honey, maybe my tea. My perfect sugar combination is some white sugar and some brown sugar together. I know, it's a lot. Put that in there, you ain't never had a better drink, ever. But you gotta go to Jamaica. Get in someone's backyard, pick the leaves. And that will turn you into a convert. I'm saying. All right. If I gotta add it to the matcha don't taste good. I can't get with agave. I can't get with agave. I am from the people who, when they were in the field, they were cutting down sugarcane. I grew up next to a sugarcane plantation. Sugar is in my bones. I can't. Artificial sweeteners, agave, anything that's not sugar. I can do honey is like the only non-sugar thing sweetener I want in my home. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Anyhow, let us get back on topic for the 20th time since I started here. Underrated, overrated cities. I want you all to say right now, say overrated, write the comment overrated, and then write a city that you think is overrated right here in the comments before I even get started. We're switching from tea, we're switching from matcha, we're switching from taste like foot, and we're moving on. Right? Date syrup. Maybe. We're moving on. Overrated in the comments. Write your overrated city. Ooh, that's a good one. Preferably outside. I see you Poetry Informal wrote Nashville. Preferably outside of the US. We're not even going to consider US cities. Although, what would be a city outside of the US that I would consider comparable to Nashville? Let me think on that. So I'm thinking a music city. It's hard because, like, I can't think of Nashville without thinking Black. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm getting some overrated cities. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let me make sure I'm keeping up with you guys. Uh, 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 uh. Okay. Y'all have some things that are already on my list. Ooh. Okay. Y'all are not fans of Paris. I'm looking in the comments and Paris is coming up repeatedly. I've seen multiple times I second Paris and I'm like, y'all are 30 and 40 Paris. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to my list, but I'm going to. Oh, wait. No, wait. That's not what I wanted to do. But yes, let's be going to get there. Y'all are moving fast. There's always that one person in the comments. And the one person is always the same person. Everybody answer the question. Here she comes. Here she comes. How are we defining overrated? I would say, you know me, I love to let people define things in their own way. But if you guys are looking to me for a definition of overrated, Erica said, I knew it. You knew who it was. You knew who it was going to be. It's always Adelia. Overrated, I would say, in this context, people are moving there because it sounds cool, or even visiting there because it sounds cool, but it ain't all that. Or there are better options they're ignoring. There are better options they're ignoring, but they're visiting there because it's popular, it sounds cool, etc. Junket, I'll ban you right now. We're not going up for Adelia like that. Y'all always want to take her side when she's wrong. Being specific. Amazing Grace is a different definition. Oh, wait, no, wait, here we go. Overrated is overhyped and underwhelming. And Jalen adds, and overpriced for what it offers. All right, you guys have a lot of thoughts about this. Ooh, okay. So I'm like divided between going through your list and my list because they actually overlap a lot. But let me make sure I've gotten everything from the comments. Angela said London, Puerto Vallarta, St. Thomas, and Rome. Okay, let's go. Let me move this over so I can see my notes. My notes. All right. The first thing on my overrated list is, I know it's here because I saw it here. Lisbon. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love Lisbon. I really like Lisbon. But if I was moving to Europe right now, specifically if I was moving to Portugal, Lisbon wouldn't be my first choice. I think that, can we say jump the shark in here? I know it's got a TV context, but I don't actually know where it came from. I'm sure it came from a TV show somewhere. Anywho, if anyone knows where that came from, drop it in the comments. I don't actually know. But I think that Portugal's doing things that make it harder to live there, harder to stay there long term, harder to become a citizen, etc. And Lisbon has been so popular in the last 10 years, 10 years, that you may not be getting the experience you've been hearing about online, because that was the experience from 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. So I'm saying if I was moving today and I was thinking about Portugal, I would go to, and now I'm moving to my overlooked category, I would go to Porto or Coimbra. Now, are they overlooked? Probably not. There's a lot of people in them. Cascais. I would not go to Lisbon, but I would consider another city in Portugal. I think that I think we've reached the point where the experience of moving to Portugal maybe we've hit the high point already, and the experience is going to go a little bit downhill. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me or not? Let me know in the comments. Yes, I knew it was from Michelle. Happy days. Jump the shark. When Fonzie jumped the shark, Michelle, there was no other plot left. Yes. Okay. Wait. I think Fonzie jumped a shark on a water ski in Hawaii. Yes. Denise wants me to clarify that we're talking about outside of the US. We are talking about outside of the US. Yes. Overrated cities outside of the US. All right. I was like, I know it's from a show. I just don't remember what. All right. And y'all came in quickly with the facts. Okay. Let's see. Y'all, I live like this all the time. This is my life. This comment, this is my life. Is she talking to me like she's a teacher right now? Yes. Does she talk to me like she's a teacher when we be at the bar? Yes. It's entertaining though. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is entertaining. Adelia is a great friend. But thinking out loud, Lisbon may not be overrated but overhyped. I think that's a good point. Lisbon is a great city. When I say overrated, I'm thinking of a context of moving there right now, right? I think all of my cities I'm talking about moving there right now. There's only one where I'm talking about visiting there and moving there. That one I think is overrated. But yes, I think you're right about that. It's a great city, but I think the bang for the buck that people used to get is gone because it's becoming more expensive. It's becoming harder to move to. And I think once a location gets really saturated with people who aren't from the place, like really saturated, it starts to lose some of its magic, which was what attracted people to begin with. All right. I'm still going through your comments again. Ooh, this is a good one, Coffee Brown. Junquette says Porto is amazing, smaller, more livable. Coimbra is pretty as well. The beach in Porto, walking around, feeling like this is not home, but it could be home. I love Porto. I love Porto. Okay, there are other parts in Portugal that are hidden gems, though. Share some hidden gems with us. Let us know. Yes, they just changed your citizenship law, so now it takes longer, like from 4 years to 8 years or something like that? Fonzie was wearing water skis, was using water skis while wearing his black leather jacket. Okay, Venice Styles. I'm gonna stop here for a second. Portugal voted no to reparations at the UN for slavery for Black people. I'm not interested for that reason alone. Wasn't it the entire EU who voted in a block against it? But that's not my point. My point is, who else did? Who else were the no voters? Who else were the no voters? Because 98% of you live in a no voting country. And I know you want to get out and go somewhere else. Politics is hard and tricky, and there's a lot of terrible things, and we're not going to get past them. But if people in Portugal aren't afraid of dying every time they see a cop, I call it a plus. I don't really care how they voted on that issue. And I think, wasn't it the EU who voted together as a bloc? Wasn't that what happened then? If I'm wrong, let me know. All right. Ooh, Dropping Knowledge Bomb says the Azores. I love the Azores. I just never considered them as a place to live because they're so small. Like, they're tiny islands. Very cute, very cute. I don't think of them as a place to move to though. Not that you can't. They have international airports, I believe. Yes, they have an international airport. Lovely, but I just never thought about them like that. I doubled from 5 to 10 years. Okay, not 4 to 8. 10 years citizenship in Portugal, which brings it in line with most of the EU. Portugal abstained from a slavery vote. The professor knows. US, Argentina, and Israel voted no. Portugal abstained. All right. I was gonna put Argentina. I was gonna put Buenos Aires on my overlooked list, but I know y'all ain't even thinking about it. So ain't nobody looking in that direction as my overrated list. Y'all not even looking in that direction. I was gonna do it, and then I was like, you guys would not be thinking about Buenos Aires because it's a shit country with shit city. Rest of the country was fine with shitty people. Every time you see someone in a Latin American country being super racist, it's a visitor from Argentina, in Brazil, in Mexico. Every time you see it on the news, like, oh, there's a Latina being super, super racist to someone darker than her. It's an Argentine. So we're not even gonna talk about them as overrated because I know we're not rating them at all. All right. Okay. I'm way behind in the comments. I got this. All right, back to my list. I've gone through your comments. Now, this one on my list is about visiting and about living because I don't understand it, and y'all gonna have to tell me why. Lady Sarita says, press the like button, subscribe. We're getting into this. This one may be controversial, maybe not, because I know y'all. I know we see eye to eye about a lot of things. If you're watching this, the first time watching this, and we don't say eye to eye, let me know in the comments. Dominican Republic, whole damn country. Why is y'all going? Why are you going to the Dominican Republic? Why are you going? To move, to visit? The beaches can't be that nice. The beaches just can't be that nice to be like, I know they're terrible people when the issue of Haitians, their next door neighbors, come up. And I know if it wasn't for the money in my pocket, they'd be treating me like trash because I'm a Black person. But those beaches are so nice. Ew. 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 Now I know it's going to be some Dominican in the comment talking about where nobody in the Dominican Republic is racist. Okay. Leave your little comment. It's fine. Delusions probably don't hurt you. It's fine. But for the Black people who are thinking of spending time in a place, I can't imagine going. One of the hardest parts of living in Mexico is knowing that I am not treated the way an Afro-Mexican will be treated. The hardest parts of living here. I know I have privilege because of my passport. The fact that my English does not sound like it's a second language. All of those things. I couldn't imagine going to a place where the people are treated even worse. The indigenous people to the land are treated even worse than Afro-Mexicans are treated. Like there's absolutely in Mexico, there's a lot of like pretending Afro-Mexicans don't exist. Like it's not a thing. What are you talking about? Going to the Dominican where a lot of humans there are aggressively racist against Black people because they don't like sharing a border with Haiti is insane to me. Like violently racist. What? Silver FX Production says racism grows on trees in the DR. I don't want to go to a place where I'm like, in a lot of places in the world, you will be an exception. Kind of like the, well, you're not really Black, you're American thing, because you're not their kind of Black. You're different from their kind of dark skin in the region, right? And that's not something that you and I could change because you and I can't change the history of white delusion that has gone around the world. But in a lot of those places, the interactions with the indigenous people, the interactions with the Black people aren't life-threatening. They aren't actively violent. So to go to a place that is, because they have beaches, couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. It's not, stop going there for vacation. Don't go. I know people who move there. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Coffee Brown said the beaches aren't even that great. All right. So let's talk about places. Specifically, islands in the Caribbean that are overlooked, right? Kemi Smitty says, And they hate dark-skinned women more than dark-skinned men. Hell no for me. Everybody hates dark-skinned women more than dark-skinned men. Everybody. Because misogynoir, let's get the best of both worlds. Let's be racist and sexist together. It's the best sandwich. Racism and sexism. Okay, so I don't know if it's overlooked, but Barbados. Yes. On my list was Antigua, St. Thomas, although I think someone said St. Thomas was overrated, and Bermuda. Now, Bermuda is much further north than I thought it was. From Bermuda, you can pretty much look at North Carolina. It's a little far. You can't see it, but that's where it is on the latitude. I'm gonna get corrected by a professor in a minute. I don't know. I think that's latitude. You can see Charlotte or whatever. Now, it was expensive. You're gonna need to spend some money, but gorgeous. I'd live there in a heartbeat. Heartbeat. Christine says Trinidad and Tobago. And Ramona Carter says Curacao is overlooked. Yes. Yes. There are so many great places to, I think that on your next beach vacation, wherever you, if we can take vacations anymore. Stephanie mentioned that she is going to be in Medellin for the Flower Festival, and I will be there too. It is the only vacation, and probably Canada for Thanksgiving, because I've been going every year for 15 years. We can't break the tradition. I don't have any trips planned. No trips planned. Because why do these flights? I saw someone posted yesterday a flight from Chicago to New York in coach, and it wasn't, I don't think it was like tomorrow. I think it was like next month. $799. Detroit to Chicago in coach. $800? What are we doing? You can walk from Chicago to Detroit. I don't understand. TC Bean says the only reason why I haven't chosen Caribbean is because of natural disasters and infrastructure after the disasters. I think that comes down to doing some research, right, about which places get hit the least, right? I don't really hear, now you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I don't really hear about Bermuda and tornadoes, hurricanes, the other one. Hurricanes, not that they haven't hit there, right? But like you don't hear about them devastating the island the way, as someone who's lived through a hurricane in Jamaica, a very bad, I was in Jamaica for Gilbert, if any of y'all know what that is. You don't hear about the devastation of that same level. I know how to find this. My phone batteries. Yeah, $800. I said, oh well, that's not for me. It's not for me. All right, so Kimmy Sweeney says I lived through Hurricane Gilbert too. I was about 5 or 6 years old. I think I was 9. It was terrifying. Terrifying. I couldn't go outside for days because there were bodies floating in the water. And being in water with floating bodies was not a good idea. Yeah. Robin Beauty, I said, like your hat, where'd you purchase it? I purchased it at that Bullseye store we don't talk about anymore, like 3 or 4 years ago. Aruba's below the hurricane belt, I believe, says TC Bean. I think we got it. Okay, so that's another thing. I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before. I think it's on us to do the research about what happens in the place we're living in. We've talked about this. You have to do your Googles, not your chat GPTs, but your actual Googles about whatever natural disasters in X city. If you have a fear of specific natural disasters. I don't like tornadoes, right? If you're going to give me something, give me a hurricane. Give me an earthquake. I live in an earthquake city. Give me an earthquake, right? I grew up with earthquakes. I know what to do. If it's my time, baby, it's my time. What am I going to do with this building on top of me? I ain't got it. But hurricanes, tornadoes, they just be whooping around and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Keep it far the F away from me. Years ago, I talked to a woman online who was here in Mexico City, or no, she had planned to be in Mexico City in like a week with her whole family for a scouting trip. She could only afford one scouting trip. So she was taking her one scouting trip, bringing the whole family, husband, kids, and everything. And she said she was afraid of earthquakes, and she wanted to know how come nobody ever mentioned that there were earthquakes in Mexico City. First, sis. First, point one, that's not factually accurate. People talk about earthquakes here all the time. Two, it's on you to figure out. She said, now the lady said she wasn't scared of earthquakes. That was not the problem. She was not afraid of earthquakes. She was afraid of being buried alive. I kept it together. I kept it together. I didn't laugh when she said that. Because it's the same. I'm not afraid of earthquakes. I'm afraid of being buried alive is that Spider-Man meme. We're all pointing at each other. Anyhow, she didn't do her Googles before she got here. Or was coming, and then she was upset and blaming other people for not mentioning that there are earthquakes. Right? We have to take ownership of how we move through the world, and we have to take ownership of the research we do. Now, I'm gonna cut to Mexico City in a minute, because that's on my list of overrated. I'll put it on your list too. And I think that Mexico City had the same moment that Lisbon did, of it being really, really popular and people thinking it looked cool. It's got great stores, the food is good, blah, blah, blah. It's cheap, it's not. All of these things, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna move there. People who live there love it. I'm gonna move there. Without paying attention to the important things. Like if you're afraid of being buried alive, don't move to a place where people were buried alive 10 years ago. I don't know. It just seems. So, yes, if you have the DR on your list, I know you didn't, but if you had the DR on your list and you're like, a Caribbean island could work for me, do your Googles and see which ones are least impacted by hurricanes, if that's something you're concerned about. A victim of its own success, yes. Oh, wait. Living in Florida taught me that snowstorms are so much worse than being no hot water in it. The first time I I'm going to talk about it. Never mind. No, never mind. Like it's there on the news. A whole neighborhood collapsed not that long ago. Climate change is changing everything, says Goshen. It's 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius in London. It's hotter than Barbados. Yes. Yes. You have to keep abreast of these things. Okay. Coffee Brown, Expert Bound says, I did research for crime, weather, food, prices, political climate, cost of living. The more research you do, the softer your landing will be. Absolutely. It's a good one. All right. I told you we're going to Mexico City next. Let me see if these comments. Who talked about it? Who talked about it? One of y'all did. I don't know, but I need to show a comment because I already said, oh, Tori the Great. It's in Mexico City. Anybody else? I love living in Mexico City. I hate parts of living in Mexico City. I hate it. Love parts of it. I was talking to a local the other day, and she was like, "Oh, you live here? We're talking about what we love." And I was like, "One of the things I love is the chaos." And she was like, "Oh, one of the things I hate is the chaos." I get it, girl. I get it. Different strokes for different folks. But imagine you're watching Happy Days, and Fonzie's on the water skis, and he jumps over the shark. And then, oh, look, there's Nellie the Loch Ness Monster. And then he jumps over that. And then there is a tornado coming, and it whips him around on the water ski still, whips him around. And then he jumps in front of the boat, and now he's pulling the boat with the force of the tornado. That's where we are in Mexico City. It's just, we've passed the point of common sense in the city. And when I say common sense, I really mean foreigners. It is a beautiful city. It's lovely. I'm so grateful that I got to live here. I've had 7 years here. I don't know that anybody else coming is going to have 7 years here. Right? I don't know that anyone coming can plan to retire here. Anyone coming who does not have family ties here already. I know that my time in Mexico City, for a variety of reasons, is going to have to end at some point. I've never in my life felt like, even through 10 winters in Columbus, Ohio, I've never felt like there's going to be a time where this place is unlivable for me. And I definitely feel that way about Mexico City. Silver Effects Production says, I recall you had a concern for Mexico City sinking. How are you feeling about that today? Adele made a video about that. What is time? A couple days ago? I don't know. She made a video about Mexico City sinking. You should watch that. It is sinking. It is sinking at a rate, a lot of parts of the city. The part I live on right now, not the part I lived on before, but the part I live on right now sinks at a rate of 1 inch a month. In the next year, buildings that are livable now are going to be unlivable. And that's going to keep getting worse as things go on. It's going to be more buildings and more buildings and more buildings becoming unlivable. And we are not the kind of city, in the city itself, there's no land to build on. Everything is built. We are built up. And they can tear down single family homes, right? If these buildings keep becoming uninhabitable, for safely uninhabitable. We're going to run out of housing for the 23 million people here. And if the 23 million people here need housing, we can't just rip up 3 single-family homes in a row and throw up, a 30-story apartment. Because when the building is sinking, when the land is sinking already, how much weight can we put in the place that's sinking and not expect it just to accelerate the rate of sinkage in that specific location? I love living here. There's nowhere else I want to live. I need to find a city I'm going to move to, because I firmly believe that as the city, being uninhabitable isn't, or not having enough, being uninhabitable, large portions of the city being uninhabitable isn't a problem today. It will be a problem in the future. And I think that when it becomes a problem in the future, the first people who should leave are the people whose people are not from the area, right? My people are not from Mexico City. I don't have a claim to this property or to this land that is higher than the people who can trace their roots back to the time of the Mexica. I don't, right? I am one of the people that needs to leave the city when portions start becoming uninhabitable, and I'm planning for that now. I don't know what that looks like. I may not know what that looks like in 2026, maybe next year, etc. Dee says we've got to make room for those who can't leave so easily to shift to where we are. Yes. And so I think it's really easy for Mexico makes it too easy for people to come here. And I know if you have had your application for a temporary permanent visa declined, you just think I said a crazy thing, but walk with me for a minute. I mean, the tourist visa. I mean, it makes it really easy for people to come here and live here and just do border runs and stay here forever. And there's no limit on the number. And it's just like the city's oversaturated with people, and there's no limiting to that. Our mayor recently said they've created, because everyone's saying y'all got to control the gentrification, y'all got to control the Airbnbs, y'all got to control things. It's out of hand. So they've created a database where if you rent a property on Airbnb, you have to register it. Can we walk through that real quick, y'all? Can we walk through what I just said? If you own an Airbnb and you rent it out on any platform, she said she specifically called out, she did not call out Airbnb, she called out, or did she? There were 2 platforms she called out. Any hoodle. You have to register it, which sounds excellent. Progress. Oh my God. Yay. The city now gets to know which units are Airbnbs and are not being rented to full-time occupants. Congratulations. What progress? Except are there any limitations? Is this a system where you can only, TripAdvisor. I feel like she didn't call out Airbnb. There was a gap there. She called out TripAdvisor and something else. And I was like, I feel like you're not saying the thing you need to say. Anyhow, are there any limits? Does this say you can only rent out your thing on Airbnb for 6 months out of a year, for 4 months out of a year? Does it say that you can only own 3 properties in the city that you rent out on Airbnb? No, there are no limits. It's just register. It just register them. It's a database. Not a single limit, not a single limit in place, but you want us, and we're asking for limits. We're asking for limits. You can't put a limit in place, but we're supposed to clap for this database. Girl, get out my face. You are playing in my face. Claudia just be every day. Every day, that lady. Every day. Woo! I was out with Danielle the other day, and there was a metal plate beside my desk, wider than my hands. It was wider than it was a very large metal plate in the road because it was covering a hole in the road, which was huge. You could see the borders of the hole around the board. The plate wasn't big enough to cover the whole hole, but it would get the cars over it, right? Okay. Our mayor the other day said that the city is 90% done with all the work it's going to do for the World Cup. Meanwhile, we have huge holes. Meanwhile, last year, when we say the roads are, this land is sinking, last year we saw a soda truck. You know them big Coca-Cola trucks, them big soda delivery trucks? We saw one fall into a hole in the street and get stuck in a hole. You know how big a hole has to be to swallow a soda truck whole? I mean, the top was sticking out, but the rest of the truck was, this is the ground, this is the truck. Oh, we haven't hit rainy season yet, and I'm already seeing gigantic holes covered by a metal plate. And we're 90% done with all the work we're doing for World Cup. Anywho, that lady plays all day. All day she plays. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I was gonna do. Okay. I saw Airbnb companies with 150 plus units when I was in Guadalajara. They had units all over Mexico and Caribbean. Yes. Yes. So what does it matter if they register? What is that going to do? What is the long-term impact of registering if you're not applying any limits to them? What are we doing? The plate was barely covered. You could see the edges of the hole. You could see into the hole. I said, oh. Woo! Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. No. You scared me with a sewage story. Flooding, when it floods. When it floods. We flood often. Mexico City. Because, okay, so we've talked about this. Let me take you back in time. A gazillion billion years ago. Don't believe half this. Don't believe the timeline of this, is what I should say. The story goes, a people looked out, and on a cactus, they saw an eagle. And that eagle, was an eagle, right? It was an eagle. Had a snake in its mouth. And they were like, that right there, that's where we should build our city. But it was swampy, marshy land. It was a lake. It was a lake. The eagle was on like a little island in a lake. Lake Texcoco. Lake Texcoco. And there were rivers. And they were like, wait, we want to live where that lake is. What do we do? So they grabbed, what are those, logs? And they made like bargey things out of logs. They like weaved logs together, right? And they sunk them to the bottom of the ocean. And then they did another one, or to the lake. And they did another one. And they did another one. And they did another one. And they threw some schmutz down there. And they raised it up high enough, right? And then they were like, cool, we can put some dirt here and live here. But when you're putting all that stuff down there, these bargee thingies that you're like building the land on top of, where did the water go? That water is still there. That water is still there. Some of it is gone, right? Some of it dissipated and went to other places. A lot of the water from the lakes and the rivers, still there, baby. And so, when it doesn't rain here and we don't have water, that ground below us is very wet. So when it doesn't rain, it dries out. And then when it rains a lot, we have a rainy season, it expands and gets a little marshy. So we either have really dry, really wet. Neither one of those, and the combination of the two as in a yearly cycle, as climate change gets worse, is not good. It's not good. It's very terrible for the buildings on top of them. Very terrible. That contraction and expansion of wetness, very terrible. I rant about this city every day. I'm gonna tell y'all, do not move here. I made a video about this 2 years ago. I'm saying it again. If you want to come and be a digital nomad and experience the hype for 6 months, know that that's not great for the city. All right? It's not a city that digital nomads should be putting roots down in right now. If you want to move here, know that you're moving. By virtue of what the city is going through, your move needs to be temporary. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But what is the timeline of temporary? Who knows? It could be next. Look, there could be. Because when places become more uninhabitable, the rent is going to skyrocket. And the rent has already skyrocketed, and it's insane. All right. Genius engineering. But they weren't planning on a city of 23 million people. It was just them and the homies lashing some wood together and sinking it. And here comes some more people. It's 23 million people? It's not. It's not. One big sinkhole just waiting to cave. We like to give it more credit than that. I've literally walked inside of a place. Okay, so after the gazillion billion years ago when they did that, you know, my timeline's off or whatever. When the Spanish showed up, the Spanish were like, everything that looks like it was religious, we're kicking it down. We're using your rocks. We're building new things. And I'm gonna get off Mexico City in a minute. I just realized I've been here for a little while. Okay, so we're kicking off. We're building new things. I've been into a church that was built back in the day by the Spanish, and the courtyard was at the street level. The church itself, now things don't, the important thing to note here, which I haven't said so far, is things don't shift at the same level because everything is built on a different foundation, different building materials, different whatever, different time period. If you and the building next to you were built on the exact same materials, exact same time, you may sink at the same level. But the street is not built at the same time as this building. So the street is here. And also they repave and whatever. These used to be side by side. The church is down here. And when I say down here, I mean the street is above my head when I'm standing on the church, in the church entrance. The street is above my head. I have to go downstairs. The street is above my head. They used to be the same level. And I'm an average sized human, regardless of what anyone else might tell you. So when we say sinking, we mean literally we can see parts of the city that aren't where they used to be. right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Puebla. It's not far. It's 2 hours away. They got a little hurricane, but it don't be bothering nobody, right? I was there for May 5th. It was great. Oaxaca, another good option. Not too many of y'all. We don't want you going down there messing it up too bad, but it can take some more people. I don't love her personally, but Guadalajara is becoming a better option than Mexico City. Oh, did I not say volcano? What did I say? I meant to say volcano if I said something else. Go to Guadalajara. Go to Guadalajara. Oh, I said hurricanes. No, Puebla ain't got no hurricanes. Puebla has dos volcanoes. Oh my God. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about people climbing mountains. And the lady tried to say popo. She tried to read popo off a piece of paper. And we call it popo. Because when I'm going to drop this in the chat and you can pronounce this for yourself. And it's someone who does not live in Mexico, so she would have no way of knowing. But listening to her read it, I was like, that's so cute. It's so cute to hear someone read Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl. That's the best I can do. It's not a Spanish word. It's a Nahuatl word. But it was cute. Anyway, that's one of the two volcanoes. Tempted Gourmet says Guadalajara is not that girl. I think she can be that girl. I think Guadalajara could be that girl for the girls who aren't Mexico City. I think she has potential. Now you're going to have to rip me out of Mexico City. Like, I will be holding on to every structure I can, but I'm going to leave. Y'all need to make Guadalajara that girl so when I get there, she's already popping. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. All right. Okay, so Oaxaca, Puebla, Guadalajara. Not Mexico City. I'm telling you, do not move to Mexico City. There's no reason. Yes, it's fun. Come visit. Don't move there. All right. I put on my list Italy, the whole country, whole damn country, as an overrated place. I put all of Italy after spending 3 weeks in Italy in March. Get thee away from me. I don't want it. But some of y'all came in and reminded me of something else. Now, Go Shango lives in London, so we're gonna ignore her saying London. All right. Y'all came in hot and heavy with Paris. Y'all said not Paris, never Paris. Oh, wait, here's a Tuscany and a Rome. Not Italy, y'all. Not Italy. Y'all came in hot and heavy with the Paris. And now I can't find the comments. Paris. I really enjoy Paris. Latrice, who I spoke to a couple weeks ago for 5 hours on this channel. I don't know how that happened. We talked about her living in Paris and being bicontinental, living in the US and Paris. And she came to the Exodus ASAP coaching program this Thursday and talked about using the using the healthcare in Paris. Not only how to get on the healthcare system in France, because there's other cities in France and Paris, but how to actually use the healthcare system. So if that's your jam, I'm going to drop a link here so you can join us in, not John us. I don't want to be John. I'm having a hard time right now. Join us next to this ASAP. If Paris has ever been on your list, I would say if you don't want Paris, think about there are other. France is a good place to. France is a good entry point for the EU. Lisbon used to be a good entry point for the EU. France is a good entry point for the EU. There are ways to get there, to get in there. We talked about that in my live video, which I'll link for you guys because if you haven't watched it already, you should. Yes, it is 5 hours. No, it won't kill you. We're just talking. Okay, live with Latrice. But like on my non-Italy list, I put Vienna. I liked Vienna. Fancy. I also put Albania. I haven't been to Albania, but I feel like she might be that girl because you can get over there and stay there for a while legally. We like that. General D says it's the people that make Paris bad. I didn't have that personal experience. I had that experience in Italy. I'm very much a person that, like, as a Black person abroad, as a Black person who spends a lot of time in places where there aren't huge numbers of Black people, I enjoy, no, that's wrong. I do not mind people looking at me like they've never seen a Black person before, especially children. This has happened twice. Once when I was with Adelia recently when we were in Puebla, and once when I was with Danielle, we were walking past, they shut down the main street for a protest and we were walking past the protest. We were walking in the middle of the protest because we didn't realize where we were. And this little girl, I said something to her, to Danielle in English, and the little girl turned around to see who was speaking English and looked like, but like a very curious, like, ooh, I'm gonna turn back. And then turned around again, like Black people up close. And I was like, yeah, girl. Because a lot of times when there are protests are people who come from either the outskirts of the city or other states that might not see Black people as much as people in Mexico City might. This child was like, ooh, I enjoy that. Because yes, hey girl, say hi, whatever. We're not taking photos, but like, hey. In Italy, the look I got wasn't we haven't seen Black people before, because they have. The look I got was, how dare you be on the same sidewalk with me, you dirty Negro. I remember one woman looked at me and I was like, bitch, you're almost dead. Like, your toe, your big toe is already in the grave. Fix your motherfucking face. Girl, what? I was like, I'm literally just passing her. She skins up her entire face and looks at me with disgust. And I was like, now look at you getting your heart rate up. Look at you getting alarmed because you see a Black person. Your heart only got but 4 beats left. Chill. Slow it down. I said, this is unnecessary. This is unnecessary. You and your man slow shuffling down the street, both of you with your canes. Worry about yourself. About yourself. I don't. So I got more of that in Italy than I'm used to in most places where I travel in the world. And so that's why Italy was on my list. I don't feel like Paris people, I feel like are rude to everybody. Like if you're going to run into a rude person in Paris, they are rude to everybody. They're not rude to you because you're Black. They might be ruder, but they were going to be rude no matter what. They were going to be rude no matter what. This is not a hello, welcome, love to see you kind of place. The number of stores I walked into and out of in Paris and Italy, where I was like, you saw me walk in, I'm the only customer. You looked up and then looked back at what you were doing. Not a word, nothing. Not my money. Any hoodle. Italy was on my list. Paris is not on my list for that reason. Paris, I think it's, people have their expectations too high when they go to Paris. It's a big city. I realized this last time, I didn't even go to the Eiffel Tower. I've been there before. Tower ain't changed. I've climbed it. It ain't changed. It's fine. And my hotel was 2 blocks away. I realized hotel was 2 blocks away. I didn't even go over there. It's all right. It's cool. I would put Vienna on the list. I think Vienna is a cool, artsy city where people are more like, you don't get the disgust. You might get the curiosity, but you're not going to get I didn't get the disgust. And Albania, I haven't been there, but if you can stay for a year, and everyone I talk to who goes to Albania and Georgia says, mind your business and chill, and people are kind. I like the idea. Lisa R says, love Vienna. Yes, it's cool. It's hanging out. Yes. Equal opportunity rude. Yes. Deport racist says Cusco, Peru, highly melanated Mexican celebrities. The adults in China had me wanting to fight so often. Chinese tourists outside of China had me wanting to fight so often. If you could just keep your hands to yourself, that would be great. It would be awesome. Thank you. If you keep touching me, I'm going to touch you. I was in France. I was at Versailles. I was talking to a friend, and she got up to walk away. We were not sitting on a ledge, but leaned up on a window ledge outside of Versailles. I'm leaned up on the window ledge. My friend gets up, she goes to do something. I'm still sitting there. This woman comes over, does not acknowledge me, does not say anything to me in Chinese, in Mandarin, in whatever. She just comes over, sits beside me, and her friend now puts the camera up they're supposed to start taking photos of a Black caught in the wild. So I get up and I immediately turn and move because you didn't even acknowledge that I'm a human. You literally just sat neck. It wasn't like she's on the window ledge also. She just wants a photo of the window ledge. She got here, sat next to me. Some white man in the courtyard sees the whole thing and is cracking up. And I was like, you ain't no better. First of all, yes, that was terrible. First of all, yes, but you don't get to laugh. You don't get to laugh at this. It'll be funny to me in a few days. You don't get to laugh at this now. Anyway, I was like, yeah, so China is not on the list for that reason because one lady cursed at me. I know what a curse word sounds like in any language. I can hear it. Because I wouldn't let her, after she touched my braids, I told her to stop touching my braids. She started screaming on me. We weren't even on mainland China. We may have been in Hong Kong. Or somewhere else. We're climbing upstairs. She's behind me. She starts handing my braids. I tell her to stop. Now she got words for me. You ain't had no words for me before you were touching the braids. Not a hello, not an excuse me, not a tap on the shoulder, you didn't act out anything. We didn't play charades. You got words when I tell you to stop? Child. Any hoodle, back on track. I'm going to say this 17 times today. Back on track. Next on my list. Ooh, someone else put it on their list too. I remember seeing this. Let me grab this. Come on. I know I saw it. I think this one might be controversial too. Cape Town has too many white South Africans for me personally to enjoy the city. And that's not racism. That's fear. Because apartheid was in my lifetime. And you're 20 years older than me. When they were shooting people and throwing rocks and doing all that stuff, what side of the line were you on, white man? I don't know. And therefore, for me, you are unsafe. I don't like it. I don't like it. Durban. Durban is my beach town in South Africa. Durban is my overlooked city, Durban. I went to Durban and it was nothing but Black kids playing on the beach. And it's okay. So for me, I always say that Durban for me was kind of like an enlightening experience. It was a place I went where it's my very first memory of Black children being free. Right? Like no one was like, calm down, you're gonna interrupt, chill. There was no one outside the family policing the kids. There was no one inside the family policing the kids. They were being kids. They were playing in the water. They were playing outside of the water. Now I was walking down the beach and they were leaving me alone. Thank you, children. Thank you. But they were just out there doing their thing, being kids, being free to be loud Black children, quiet Black children. Playing by themselves, playing in groups, running and playing tag. And no one was like, could you gather up your children? I'm trying to get a tan. Durban has, I believe, I don't know if it's still then, but back when I visited, one of the claims I heard about Durban was that they have the largest percentage of Indians, the largest number of Indians outside of India is in Durban. I didn't experience a lot of Indian people there, but the ones I did experience were friendlier than the Indian people I ran into in Mauritius. So, it felt good. It felt good. It felt good. It was just a very Black city, Black beach, South Africa, good vibes. I would take it over Cape Town any day of the week. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, have y'all been to Durban or Cape Town? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, which I'm way behind on. Johannesburg, Durban, and Pretoria are great. I love Joburg. I love Joburg. Joburg is my city, but because Cape Town's a beach city, I wanted to provide another beach city. If you want a big city, Johannesburg. Johannesburg, yes. All right, let's see what else I missed. I had to split every city I went to. Did I go to? No. I went to Ireland and I was in Ireland. So we'll just say my time in Ireland, my time in Dublin. Okay, so I have friends who are Black Irish and they struggle being Black in Ireland. That being said, I enjoyed the, like, struggling to be Black in Ireland is different than struggling to be Black in the US, right? Like, someone will tell them you're not really Irish, as opposed to them being shot by the police, which is really what it comes down to for me 90% of the time. All right. Let's see. Cape Town is flooded. Yes. Katrina was in a grocery store in line, and a white man just walked up and stepped in front of her like he didn't see her there. Where was I? I was somewhere, and there was a Black South African family. I don't know what city they were from, but these white people literally just cut in front of them, and they were like, and I'm like, y'all don't be punching them enough, right? We all have to survive how we have to survive in the places we have been dropped on this earth. I get it. But white South Africans need a little bit more kneecapping. So do white Americans. But a little bit more, it's not your land. Anyhow. As I go through this list, staying in Africa, because I know I saw it. Me finding a comment that y'all already left. Impossible. Jalen Bedante's therapist said Accra. Now, I haven't been, but when they be talking about the prices of things and how hard it is with people in our community who live there, and I'm like, it don't sound. Now, if Accra is overrated, overlooked on my list is going to be Dakar, Senegal. It was not an easy city. I learned a lot. 3 weeks or 2 weeks was not the appropriate amount of time. I should have been there for like 4 days or 6 months. Either one of those would have been better than just that medium time. I think it's a great city compared to what I hear about Accra. So, what say you guys? Are we big Accra fans? Oh, that's a good one. Everything I hear is like, I know men ain't ish, but the Senegalese men though. I did not meet a Senegalese man who would not drop his draws for $10. So just keep that in mind. And was not looking for $10 to drop his draws. Right? Like, y'all are all cheap to begin with. But you're leading with prostitution? Yuck. Not that all Senegalese men are like that. I'm saying that in the 3-week span, which I told you was not the right amount of time, 4 days, maybe 6 days, or 6 months. 3 weeks is not the right amount of time. Dropping their draws and holding their hand out at the same time. Because when the old white women come over from France, they pay to play. I don't even want to play. I'm just trying. I called an Uber. I called the equivalent of a car Uber. I just want to get home. I don't want you to tell me the price list. Like, I really just want to ride home. And then I'm going to get out and you're going to go somewhere else. You're not going to be, we're not, I called you up on an app to drive me somewhere. Not for whatever the ladies normally pay you. Stop it. But other than that, great city. Great city. I haven't been across, so I don't really want to say, I can't say it's overrated, but a lot of people say it's overrated and overpriced. I'm not into talls. And I know that's going to sound crazy to a lot of y'all, but the Senegalese men were generally so tall. Why is there so much? Why is there so much of you? They couldn't just cut you off at the ankles? What? Why are you? It just feels like a waste. Odd Girl 82. I don't understand how Black Americans, first of all, that lowercase b tells me more about you than you probably think it does, but let's go. I don't understand how Black Americans say they're leaving the US because of racism and discrimination. However, they run to white European nations to live. Please try to make it make sense. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you already, one, have your mind made up. One, I can't tell if you're Black. And so I don't need to make it make sense to you. Two, if you were amongst Black people who were having this conversation, it would already make sense to you. Okay, thanks. Bye. All right. Okay. All right. On my list, which you guys didn't have, I might get a little bit of hate for this. Overrated Kuala Lumpur. Every time I say Kuala Lumpur, every time I think of Malaysia, every time I come back to a memory, inner thigh sweat, armpit sweat, back sweat, under titty sweat. I start sweating just thinking of Kuala Lumpur. It was so damn hot. Every time, fresh shower, leave the hotel, go across the street to the middle of the street to take the train. By the time I made it to the train platform, it was like I've never had a shower a day in my life. I am wet. Wet. Pits. Crotch is a swamp. I'm sorry, it is. Everything is just so. When people say they live in Malaysia, ask them what they do. How do you spend your days? They spend their days inside and go out after dark. Everything is just wet. I know that's not the story you guys were looking for, but my only beef with Kuala Lumpur is there's no reason for any place to be on this earth. There's no reason for any place to be this hot and this humid. I can't live with swamp crotch all day long. I'm not interested in that. So that's what I have. That's my overrated part. Great medical care, good community, people love it. I get that people really love it. It's a no for me, dog. The same way Meta does it now. It's just not for me. Um, to that, I would say if you like kind of a laid back feel of that part of Asia, I would check out Hoi An. Loved Hoi An. Was not that hot. Was not that humid. Everyone was really nice. It was easy being black there. Not that there's a lot of black people, but it was easy for people just not to care about the fact that you're black. Also on my list, if you what you like about Kuala Lumpur is a city, I think Taipei gets overlooked. It's not one we talk about a lot. I don't know actually how hard it is to live there, but I think you could spend a good amount of time there. Check out Taipei and see if that kind of city living is for you. I couldn't listen. I can't do the heat like that, so I need to give up my dream of my tall, tan Asian man. Your tall, tan Asian man might be in America. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not. It's not. Yes, similar to Merida. So, Safer Exposure says they just go to the malls. That was my mom moved to Merida. She was like, they have so many malls. And she's not a shopper, but she was like, they have so many malls. And I was like, yes, because you have to go somewhere where there's air. Like you can only go to places with air conditioning. If you go to a place that doesn't have air conditioning, you're going to be very uncomfortable in the daytime. If you go to a place that has an exorbitant number of malls, there's a portion of the year which is too damn hot to be outside. The mall I went to in Dubai had a ski thing or a snow thing inside. I don't know if they were tubing or what it was, some kind of snow adventure thing inside the mall, which was next to the mall, because all you could do was mall. Now, I saw this comment somewhere earlier, loved Croatia. If I was looking at Europe, but I didn't want to be in a place like Paris, Italy, I haven't been to Montenegro, but I would definitely check out Croatia. My thinking about Europe is get residency however you can get residency in the EU. Get residency in the EU however you can get residency. If you want citizenship, get citizenship however you can get citizenship, and then go to whatever country you want. From there, get in how you fit in, and then go wherever you want, right? If you have to go to Paris to get that residency, get it. If there's some way, some hole you fit in, and then go, listen, then go where you want. All right. Bogota is on my list as a underrated city, even though I know overlooked city. I know someone here talks about Bogota all the time. Bogota was the very first city I went to in Latin America, in my memory. Before I came to Mexico City, I definitely went to Bogota, and I loved it. A man showed up and tried to ruin my solo vacation, so it wasn't the best trip ever, but it was a really, really good time. I liked the weather. Everyone was nice and friendly. I liked it. All right. Let's see what I missed in the comments. I love Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'm not going to recommend anybody move there because of burning season. Moving to a place where you can't live all year round doesn't make sense to me. Love it. Do not love Bangkok. I don't love Bangkok. Even though I'm a city girl, I prefer Chiang Mai to Bangkok. But mm-mm. Y'all just out here saying any old thing. Tall men are dreaming. Girl, wake up! Wake up! Wake up is still a man. Anyhow, we move. Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's overcast and too cool all the time. A little bit of rain, a little bit of like healthy rain on you daily, a little drip, drip, drop. I think that when we talk about our research, one of the things we need to be researching, if you're a thoughtful person who wants to move abroad and to be in a place for a long time, you need to be researching how climate change is impacting that city, right? Climate change in Mexico City is speeding up the sinking. It's causing floods and droughts. We have a drought and a flood every year. How? Who knows? It just sciences. What are the changes that are going to happen to Bogota in the next 10 years as climate change? It's out there. Someone's done the research. Not me, but someone's done it. So, yeah, Bogota has really cool weather. Sibby, it was great meeting you on Sunday. Someone asked me if I did an update about the Mexico City meetup. I did not, but I'll do that before I leave. Okay, so let's go to some other things that were not on my list, but you guys have on your list. Erica Denaro TV said Dubai. It's not on my list because I don't know many people who are moving to Dubai who aren't moving there for work. People aren't moving to Dubai for fun. So I'm gonna look right past it. I visited it twice. The first time I visited, I was like, I'm not enjoying this. Let me leave this vacation and go to Qatar. I'm not enjoying this. It's not. Anyhow, overrated. Miss Perry says that, not a city, but the Pacific beaches in Costa Rica are overrated to move to. Overrun with American white people on the beaches are mid. What you're looking for in Costa Rica, Grenada, Scott. So I've said this before on the channel, and y'all can clown me all you want. But whenever I think Costa Rica, I think island. I know Costa Rica is not an island, but I always think island. So I always compare it in my brain to other islands. Mostly because I think people only talk about the beaches because San Jose, Costa Rica is not a city. It's not a city. I was gonna say it's not a city I'd move to, but I just moved the period up and said it's not a city. It's not a city, period. So it's mostly beaches that people talk about in Costa Rica. The Atlantic side, black. The Pacific side, white. The Atlantic, I have not been, I've heard over and over about the Pacific side. I have not been, but I've been to the Atlantic side. On the Atlantic side, you'll find communities of Black people. You'll also find whites from various countries who are shoeless with matted hair, but they think it's locks. So you gotta just maneuver around that. It's like Bali, but less of them are Australian. Why you ain't got no shoes on in these people's establishment? Why? Why you ain't got no shoes on? When I was in Italy, we were in Cinque Terre, and we were when you take the train, there's a pass you can buy for the train that allows you to use the station in the train bathroom. If we're going to be gone all day, we're like, great, perfect. So we're waiting in line to go to the bathroom, and a whole family is behind us, I think. They're all carrying their shoes and going in the bathroom shoeless. We see them, it's a small town, so we see them in like more than 3 more locations, stopping to get ice cream, shoeless, walking through the town, brand new shoes, not old shoes, brand new tennis shoes in their bags or in their hands. The baby is like 3 or less, shoeless, no socks, carrying shoe. I don't know what the point is here, but just general disgust. But seeing them walk in the back, even the white people I was with were like, what the F is happening here? Did you see them go in the bathroom with no shoes on? And I'm like, when you're disgusting to white people, you've reached a level that I hope to never get to. No point. But you'll experience those people. I know you'll experience them in the Atlantic side. Not a lot in Black communities, so you can maneuver past them. But the Pacific side is being bought up more and more by white Americans. A lot of them MAGA. Faith says Costa Rica was not for me, the vibe was off. Yes. I always think of minor cuts that could contract disease. The baby was like 3. And she's going in this room, walking into this bathroom with no shoes on, walking around town with no shoes on. We saw them in a restaurant and they put their shoes on to sit in the restaurant. But wake up, Makeup Slate. Enjoy your girls' trip to Costa Rica. Let us know what you think if you would move there. You're not grounded in no bathroom. It's a poop forest. What if that's not where you're supposed to ground? Oh, okay. They were carrying their shoes. And it made no sense. It made no sense to me. All right. Next on my list, I don't think Panama is overrated. I don't think it's overhyped. I think it's getting oversaturated. Specifically, Panama City. I think you can still move to Panama City. I think you can still enjoy Panama City. I think it's going to do what's happened in Lisbon and Mexico City, where you're going to get pushed back against foreigners in the next 3 or 4 years. Because the vibes are changing. And nobody wants their town's vibe to change because some stranger showed up. Doesn't that just sound like colonialism? Don't that just sound like Columbus getting off the boat and being like, Cortez showing up and being like, it's all mine now. So I think that Panama City is a great place. I liked it. I personally didn't want to move there. I do understand its appeal, but I think that it's headed towards, its popularity has gotten so high that it's going to head to oversaturation. Are we going to call that a word? We're going to call that a word. And it's going to have some pushback. Yeah. All right. What y'all talking about? In the comments. All right. Really enjoyed the Atlantic side of Costa Rica. Tortuguero was an interesting place to visit. Cahuita seemed like a relaxed place to spend time. I spent some time in Cahuita and I enjoyed that. But Stephanie's comment was about Grenada. She's mentioned Grenada. What's a better place? I think she said Grenada. I have not been there yet. Who wants to take me to Grenada? Hi, friends. Who wants to take me to Grenada? Leave a comment. And when I say take me, I do mean sponsor. Anyone? Leave a comment. Thanks. Okay. All right. All right. In the comments. Okay. Okay. Jeremy says, I think it's happening in Boquete, Panama. I have not been to Boquete, but I think it's another place that's getting increasingly popular. So, and Amina says, get those Panama residencies now, y'all, if you want it. And you qualify. And you qualify for the pensionada visa in Panama if you have more than $1,000 USD in permanent income, Social Security, disability from the military, anything like that, permanent pension, and you're over 18. Panama is one of the few countries that gives you a retirement visa as long as you're over 18. $1,000 in permanent income, over 18. I think you need $250 for each additional dependent on top of that 1,000. Many more of you qualify and are not applying, and y'all need to get on that if you qualify. All right. Grenada is a beautiful island, but there's too much traffic. Practically everyone owns a car. I live in a place that has some of the worst traffic in the world. I bet you if I went to Grenada, it would feel like a breezy summer day. A breezy summer day. And that's one of the beautiful things is that because we're not all coming from the same place, we're going to want different things in the places we go, and we're going to feel differently in the places we go. All right. Permanent income, Panama equals Social Security or pension, or military disability payments. That's why a lot of military are down there. Any at all kind of income that cannot be taken away. That cannot be taken away in a reasonably sane world, right? Like if Social Security, like Panama doesn't operate under the idea that the American government is going to become broke and not have any money and therefore not paying Social Security, right? That's not how they operate under the illusion that if you have Social Security, you're going to keep getting Social Security. If you have permanent income from the government, you're going to keep getting permanent income from the government. How to apply for me and my kids to Panama. We talk about that in Exodus ASAP. It's linked in the description. I will try to drop that again for you here. No, that's not it. And we walk you through that. If you want to join us in Exodus ASAP, our community, we coach about how to do it in Exodus ASAP. But if you want to figure it out on your own, you can join us in the Exodus Summit community, which is minimum of $1 to join. $1 for life. Not a one-time payment. You can join us there if you're a Black woman, and you can figure some things out on your own. We do our actual live coaching about how to do things like that in Exodus ASAP. All right. Let's see. All right. And Jazz, congratulations on permanent income. However you get it. Love it. All right. Next on the list, overrated San Miguel de Allende. The first time I went to San Miguel was 2018. I was there when my dad was dying, so yeah, 2018. And I loved it. Magical. I loved it. I enjoy it now. I don't love it as much as I used to. When I first went to San Miguel in 2018, it was rare to see tourists that weren't Mexican in the main square. It was mostly a Mexican vacation town. Beautiful. Um, it is less rare to see tourists who aren't Mexican now. Um, More likely that you're going to hear a, "What are you doing here?" from some white American woman. "How did you hear about this town?" Um, if you're in the tourist areas, a lot of people live there and never go to the tourist areas. I think the magic of a town is in some of the tourist areas, like, the parochia. I'm not going to call it, I'm not going to call it overrated. I'm going to say that it's strapping on its water skis. It's getting so close to jumping the shark. So close. Another overrated Tulum. I haven't spent significant time in Tulum. I've only been like on a couple of, I think, 1-day adventures. I don't hear anything good about Tulum. But JG says Cancun overrated. You guys have multi% milk left. She feels strongly about Cancun. Definitely sec dry. Everyone's Twitter has shown us the same damn hotel and outside gym. But I think that outside gym is in Tulum. The one you're thinking of is in Tulum. But now Coffee Brown says, I was obsessed with Cancun 35 years ago. I went to Isla Mujeres instead. Best experience. Isla Mujeres? The water between Cancun and Isla Mujeres, when it becomes my time and I get packed up in that, I go through the fire and I get packed up in that plastic bag in that box, and someone's got to do something with me in the plastic bag in the box after I went through the fire, sprinkle my left leg on that water between Cancun and Isla Mujeres. Right? Some internal organs, get them in there too, please. It don't have to be all of me. Just a scoopful, a couple scoop. That water between Cancun and Isla Mujeres is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Every time I've been there, I've just been like in awe that water can look like this. Sprinkle me. I almost broke into E40, but I shan't. Just sprinkle me. Not all of me, but some chunks, please and thank you. All right. Let's see what we're talking about. Amina says, don't talk about her home like that. And then she laughs because she knows it's true. Woo! White woman be like, this is your first time here? And I'm like, no, it's your first time here. But thanks. Thanks for playing. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, when I hear sprinkle, I think E40. I don't think Shara, whatever her name is. Like, I've been forgetting about her. Isla Mujeres? Even, what's the other island starts with the C? Cozumel? Them islands off the coast, but isn't her specifically? Mm-hmm. Yes, she's that girl. Um, let's see. I'm on the fence about London. What do you think? I would like to spend 3 months in London, maybe even 6 months in London. Live there? Not for me. Not for me. Another thing we have to consider is so earlier in this live stream, Shan talked about how hot it is. As we deal with climate change, we have to consider, are the places we're going to equipped for the weather they're currently having, right? So when it's really hot in London, what percentage of I just don't know the answer to this. What percentage of the town has air conditioning? Or you just got to make yourself a swamp cooler, turn the fan on, and then like starfish on the floor to get that cool breeze. Or is that just me? You know what I mean? Like, are the places you're going equipped for what they got going on today? Or are the buildings equipped for what they had going on 50 years ago? I think there is a season for me in London. It may be the fall, it may be spring into the beginning of summer. Last time I was there, it was raining. It was in the winter. I want to say like November. Clock me out. Shan't, can't, won't. Can't. I don't know. I'm not doing it. But if it's your thing, it's your thing. Beautiful city. Beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns. Papa Colonizer. Big Daddy. Oh, wait. This is what I was going. Oh, London has no air conditioning. That's no for me. 86 degrees. I want a little, a little cool breeze. I can't. How about Iceland? To live, I don't know. To visit, loved it. Loved it. Mm-mm. All right. Let's see. Okay, what's left in the comments? Some questions about Spain. Not that I've lived here, but I hear Barcelona is overrated. I liked Barcelona, but I think Barcelona may give a little bit of what Paris gives. I don't remember the people being super warm and friendly, and I think we may be putting too much on the city. Are you subscribed? Have you liked this video? Did you give it a thumbs up? Did you turn on notifications? I come here every week and I talk to you guys. I try to give you the best of what I have. And all I ask for in return is that you subscribe. Are you subscribed? Please. It's what I want for my birthday. My birthday was on Monday. I'm now 47. 47. Hello. Yeah. Okay, so Barcelona. I don't know that I'm gonna say overrated, but I think you should lower your expectations. I think it's given a lot like Paris. And someone else asked about Spain in general. Big Daddy Colonizer. Yolanda, who is, y'all help me out. What's Yolanda's name online? I know this. Yolanda is she lives in Zaragoza, Spain. Jesus. And she's been on the channel before. I'm finding her on everybody's channel but her own. Somebody tell us. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Barcelona's oversaturated. We need to give them a break. Yeah, they're not happy with the tourists and the people moving in. Oh yeah, I forgot about that in London. The old people every year when it gets hot, them old people be dropping. Every year I visit Vancouver Island because my best friend from high school lives in Vancouver Island. And every year, every time I go, we count the number of Black people because it's important to me that she realizes she's dragging me to a place where if I'm there for 1 week, if I'm there for 2 weeks, we can still count. It's not like we saw 20 Black people today. It's like we saw 2, and we're adding them to the 3 we've seen in the past 4 days. So sometimes we leave, we're below 10. I'll be there for a week, we've seen less than 10 Black people. If we don't leave for a town. If we leave for a town, maybe we see more. If we go to the big city, we don't see. Is that a Black person working in the store? Hey, oh, he don't speak. Okay. Now, that's my biggest experience in Canada. There are other parts. People love Toronto. I've never lived there. I don't know. What y'all think? Any thoughts about Greece? Not Athens, never Athens. Athens is what let me know. Athens was the first time I was like, oh, I was consciously like, oh, this is a depressing city. This is what a depressing city looks like. This is what it looks like to know that living here is going to make you sad. Even if you weren't sad when you came, you're going to be sad when you left. Okay, Athens. Okay, Fiji. If Fiji was better connected, as in it wasn't so expensive to get there and the flights were shorter, I would spend a good chunk of I would find me a man in Fiji. You know, nothing starts with a man for me, but I would find me a man in Fiji and move into his home, in his village, and live happily ever after for 6 months until I move somewhere else. I loved, in my bones, I love Fiji. I love the people of Fiji. I loved how I felt in Fiji. I cried at the airport when I was leaving Fiji, when I was checking in, and that big buff man at the counter, young man at the counter came around and was like, woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. I could not stop crying about leaving the country. So, but I don't think it's an easy place to move to and live, right? So, I would absolutely move in with a strong back in Fiji and let him do all the labor while I ate bonbons on the couch. Because what? Mama Bundy told me what I need to be doing. Nothing. Locating cozy. God, that was so hard. I don't know why. Locating cozy is Yolanda's channel. She'd be so mad at me when she sees this. We're not gonna tell. This is gonna be our secret. This is gonna be our secret. Okay, so Black woman in Zaragoza is locating cozy. That's not supposed to be a question mark. Ignore the question mark. It's there. Oh, Montreal. I enjoyed Montreal. But like I said, I was there for the Jazz Fest. I coincidentally was there the weekend of a Jazz Fest. I don't know if it's always like it was when I was there. Um, Vancouver was shockingly devoid of melanin. Imagine Vancouver, the big city, being shockingly devoid of melanin, and then going to an island that you can't get to without a direct flight to the island from the Vancouver airport, a solid like 5 minute flight, 15 at most, or a hours long ferry to a place that was originally full of indigenous people from that area and then got overtook by the British. At least in Vancouver, I'd be like, oh, there's an Asian person. Vancouver Island? No, 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 no. Mm-mm. All right. Hey, Crystal. Back in the US for a week. Ooh. Get in and get out, girl. Let's see. Oh, no. So Cogatate always says Athens is like Atlantic City. Athens is like Reno, the Nevada side. Reno only has the Nevada. Tahoe has both sides. Reno, Nevada. Athens is like Reno. It's not like Atlanta. In this context, if we're saying Atlanta, it's not Atlantic City. It's Reno. I was just passing through. This was not the plan. Mm-mm. All right. What y'all talking about? We met the tallest, prettiest, dumbest man in Fiji. Just inside his brain, the man was so hot. Just clickety clacking around. It's nothing. Just nothingness inside. But it was nice to look at. Tall. Strong back. All right. Six months, I gotta go. I'll be back in a year or two for another 6 months. Make sure you feed the babies. I just send me some photos. I'll be back. I won't ask you any questions when I'm gone. In fact, I might forget you exist. Don't ask me nothing either. Until I'm feeling that Fiji urge, I might forget about you. Just send me some photos. Feed the kids. All right. The birds are out. The birds are out. Yes. All right. Okay. I think we did our list today. What y'all think? Is there anything we left off? I love a strong back from a distance. From a distance. I love men until they start talking. Because 99.5 times out of 100, they gonna say some dumb shit. And either you have to pretend that dumb shit isn't dumb, you have to push through the dumbness, or you have to walk away. Anywho, love a strong back from a distance. From a distance. I'm just telling you my truth. What else y'all want from me? This is my truth. Women, you know what? I'm going to say goodbye because I was about to get into the patriarchy again, and you know that would be like 30 minutes, and we don't need that today. I'm going to say we've done the do. The main ones on my list when I showed up as overrated were Lisbon, Dominican Republic. Now, I didn't say this earlier, but specifically in my overrated list for Mexico City, I wrote Roma Norte and Condesa. If you come to our city and you stay in Roma Norte and Condesa and you don't really make it out of Roma Norte and Condesa, you ain't seen Mexico City. You haven't. You haven't seen Mexico City if you stayed in those bubbles, if you ate in those bubbles, if you shopped in those bubbles, if the only place on your left was to take an Uber to the airport, you didn't experience Mexico City. Please don't make a reel about it. Please make a reel about Roma Norte or Condesa. Don't make a reel about Mexico City. Don't be on TikTok talking about Nova City. Please. Please. All right. And then Italy and Paris, Cape Town, Kuala Lumpur, Accra, all overrated. Overlooked, I had Porto, Coimbra, Cascais, small Caribbean islands that some of you need to research if you're outside of the hurricane belt or not. Oaxaca and Puebla, Vienna, Albania. I'm going to add Georgia to that. Durban, Hoi An, Taipei, and Dakar. And then we got into a lot more from the comments. Thank you guys very much. We'll talk to you guys next week. All right. Oh, members, we are going to meet for a little while. I guess while I'm on one, we'll keep it going. If you're a member of my YouTube membership, we get together on Sundays after I go live, and we catch up on Zoom. So if you want to join us, join the membership, and we'll chat on Zoom. It's not coaching. We're just on there catching up with each other. It's very social. It's a very social hour. Thank you, guys. Lady Sabrina says, go ahead and like the video. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. Y'all don't want to see me cry again, do you? All I asked for my birthday was more subscribers. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, thank you. Bye, friends.